Well, hello YouTube. An early autumn ride on my CL500. And to our right is Dalton Home Estate, Dalton Park. And it's just a Monday afternoon bimble on my little 500. A bike which I am getting more and more attached to as time goes on. I keep finding little things to add to it. The latest ones are the sliders on the fairly new engine crash bars, which have already saved the bike. Have a ride through Goodmanchester. I think at some point, I think that must have had a bridge over it there, because the old railway line is quite high up on an embankment. So I would think there was a bridge there and they've taken it out. It's the old railway line that goes from Beverley through Cherry Burton to Market Wheaton, and then continued either to Selby or up to York. I was quite interested how some people describe the CL500. Honda describe it as a road bike. They don't. It's not in the adventure bike section. It's in the road bike section. Some insurance companies describe it as just a commuter, and then the latest one I've seen, which in actual fact didn't surprise me. Now I can't remember, it was one of the insurance companies, I think it's the one I'm with, Hastings, describe it as a cruiser. How strange. But I always fancied an 883 Harley Davidson, and I went so far as to Chesterfield, 10 years ago probably, because I went on Spike my 1250 to have a look at one. When I got to the Harley Davidson place at Chesterfield, I couldn't believe how twee the little Sportster was. And at the time, I was really into me, big bikes. 1250 Suzuki obviously is a giveaway. And I thought, oh no, I don't think that would suit me now. Of course, having owned my monkey bike, I now thoroughly understand that, yeah, actually it would have been fine. But I still think I'm comfier on my monkey bike than the 883, even though the 883, well, it's got to be bigger. I definitely, when I was sat on it, I can remember thinking, oh bloody hell, there's not a lot of room, and the arse was hanging off the back of the single saddle, and I don't have any of those issues on my monkey bike. I've long since given up any thoughts of owning a Harley. It was just a phase I went through. But I was looking at one today that's in Castles, in Castleford, and it's now then, it's the 1200. And it's a Harley, but it's how do I explain what it is? I think they call it an XL 1200. It's got candy red paintwork, sparkle candy red paintwork. It's got you know, the tall handlebars, and I remember watching a chap who's since passed away, lived in the Western United States. He used to ride one. He was a friend of Sean Smokes. I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name. Retired policeman, and he used to do films of himself, what he called lane splitting on this bike. And I have to say, of all the Harleys, that one still, I must admit, I like the bike, but I realise it wouldn't work for me. But I'm getting away from the story. When I saw what this insurance company said about this bike being a little cruiser, and I looked at it and I thought, well, yeah, there's been a few Harleys that haven't looked dissimilar to this here bike of mine. So maybe part of the reason I bought this CL was because it reminded me of the 883 Harley Davidson. Now I can never remember where these two go. That goes to Burnham. I think we'll go to Burnaby. Lovely dapple shade under these trees. These are nice roads around the village of Burnaby, and we'll eventually end up in Pocklington, and then probably right up towards the military road. I don't know, make it up as I'm going along. It's nice to go out and do the long distance rides, but I'm finding, oh dear, they do take it out of me. It's the strangest thing, that the one thing I remember about riding my bike down to Margate was how long I was on the bike, and if I'm being honest, after about 2 hours I was bored with it, and it was like, oh god, I've got another 4 or 5 hours of this, and I was tired. But I think the reason was because the bike was just too heavy. It was just taking too much out of me. It's alright riding these big bikes, but as you get older you don't have the bike fitness to chuck them around. Whereas this one, I rode it that 300 miles into Lancashire and back, and I was as fresh as a daisy when I got back. It was a very interesting little experiment. I didn't realise it was an experiment at the time, but by the time I got home, I had learnt a lot. Still water in the stream, so that's a good sign. Now then, this is the bit where I'm not quite sure where I am. Nah, I don't want to go to Dunburnham, not yet. I'll get there eventually, but I don't want to go to Dunburnham. The last couple of times I've been out, road's closed, I might be going to Dunburnham. Right, okay. So that ain't gonna work. Oh, that's a shame. Right, so I spoke too soon. So I'm going to have to go to Dunburnham. Burnby, I like that. Okay, so this will take us up to Dunburnham in 1 mile and water in 3 miles. I'm not actually sure I've ever been down here. Oh, it's getting a bit warm. No, I certainly don't recognise this road, but I think I've got an idea where it comes out. Yeah, I know where this road comes. It comes out as a V junction. If we turn left, it'll take us more or less where I want to be. But I haven't ridden down this road before. It's a new one. See, after all these years, I can still find lanes I've not been down. Yeah, we've ridden this road a few times this year. And takes us out onto that B road that runs down from Bainton and into Pocklington. You see these splits in the road here. Apparently this is due to the ground underneath the road drying out, and it's causing problems with the foundation of the roads. And this one is a fairly new road. It's still in pretty good nick, you know, for an East Yorkshire country lane. So the lack of rain has damaged the road. You can see, look, it's like snakes everywhere. Big cracks in the road surface. You see it down there, look. Saved myself going into Pocklington. Killick Pacey, real posh golf club on my left there. We'll ride up this road. Just skating around literally around the edges of the walls. We're just barely in the Vale of York here. That's why I eased off. There's always loads of cars hanging around here, the dog walking area. Well, this isn't where I planned to be, but that road closure, it took me away from Pocklington, and the further I've gone down this road, the more I've enjoyed myself. 2:25 I want to be heading towards Seaways for a cup of tea. It'll do me. And it'll probably bring us out in water. I think that's where this road ends up. Beck Cottage. And the beck's dried up. Yeah, it's dried up. Right next to a spring. It's a pumping station for Yorkshire Water. You may have just caught a glimpse of it, I'm not sure. Yeah, Millington. I thought it did. Yeah, okay. Here's me thinking it would bring me out in water. Yeah, well, I'm truly disorientated there. Now, there's a sign there. Does that say closed? No, it's an advisory. Pocklington's just over to our left. I was further west than I realised. That's it, I know where I am now. Ooh, I don't want to go Millington Pastures. That was Millington, that road we were running down there the other day on the Monkey. Yeah, I got myself a bit confused there. Still, never mind. Nice roads, nice lanes, very enjoyable. Something this little bike's really good at. This is the road I was thinking I was coming up to. Now, I'm going to be careful here because it's a sort of a junction, is this. Helps if you try starting in first gear, not third. Dear me, get a grip. Bloody hell. Lovely flowing road, this one. I found myself the other day saying I wasn't keen on adventure bikes, and then no sooner had I said it than I was looking at one of these new is it a CF Motor, is it 526 DSX or something like that. I'm thinking, what the hell are you looking at that for? You just God. But I decided to stick with this because I find it so easy to use, and I'm having fun buying little bits and pieces for it, little extras, you know. I finished messing around with the screen. I've finally come to the conclusion there was no benefit to that big screen whatsoever. I hung on to it thinking it would be useful on motorways. It was a damn nuisance. It caused the most horrible turbulence, and I think it looked ungainly on the bike. So I went back to this one, and the Monkey don't have anything. I thought about getting a rack to go on the back of this one, but then I realised it would interfere with my feet. It was actually getting on and off the bike. I could end up catching my boots on it, because the height of this bike is about as much as I can lift my leg now. It's something to do with my back operation. It seems to have limited my range, and I don't have a lot of strength in my right hip. I can sort of roll onto this bike. It's nice and comfy. So if I put anything on the back of it above the height of the saddle, it's just going to make life difficult for me, and I really don't need it. If I ever did any travelling on this bike, I may consider one then, but otherwise no, I won't bother. I'd need to put one on just to so I could use my roll bag. I need something just to lift the bag slightly higher than my exhaust system, because it clearly states on the back of the bike that you mustn't rest bags on the heat guard. Now it's a bit of a strange one, that, because I've actually put my hand on that heat guard after, well, when we got to Rivy Barn, and it was pleasantly warm, but it wasn't dangerously hot. I don't think it would do much harm to a bag. Having said that, I'm not prepared to risk damaging me tote bag. Just having a quick whiz down the A166. Just let the bike get up to national speed limits. See how this crash helmet deals with 60 miles an hour. It's fine, absolutely fine. All that putting around on country lanes, just let the little bike stretch your legs and let her breathe a bit. There we are, 60 miles an hour, national speed limit, and she's absolutely fine. Now if I had that big windscreen on now, I won't be able to, I would not be able to hear myself speaking. But with the fly screen on, yeah, it's not a problem. It lifts the air more or less over my head. I did consider using the wind deflector, but it looks daft, so I ain't bothered. 40 miles an hour. $30 miles an hour. It looks like it's got half a tank of fuel, but I know when there's 2 bars showing, if I tried to fill this up now, I'd barely put 4 quids worth of petrol in it. It's one of those fuel gauges that reads low when it's actually, well, when it's still half full, it's on 1 bar, but 128.9 is tempting. Anyway, time for a cup of tea. I do hope you've enjoyed this little bimble around Burnaby and Numburnham and all those other lovely little East Yorkshire villages. And from Seaways Cafe in East Yorkshire, I will say bye for now. Look at that, they've even left me parking space empty. How kind is that? Must not know what's coming. Oh, is a Ducati. Oh, and a new Hornet. Two Hornets.
Oh. There goes Graham on the mighty sail.